On the last lap of the show today, Nigeria Decides, we're revisiting the outcome of the presidential election against the background of some sections of the Constitution that is attracting attention. Talking about Section 134 of the Constitution, which provides for the percentages, the number of states to be won by a candidate that should be declared president-elect. That has happened already, but questions are coming forth as the exact interpretation of that section of the Constitution. We have with us Barrister Sunny Daudu, a legal practitioner, obviously, here to give us some insights into that section of the Constitution. Barrister Sunny Daudu, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Thank you.
So let us into your perspective on Section 134 as it relates to the just concluded presidential elections. From people are saying, look, it will need the court to interpret that section of the Constitution because they have this feeling that it was not satisfied in the emergence of the presidential candidate.
Well, thank you. The provisions of the Constitution in respect to Section 134, Sub 1A and B, contemplate a situation where for a president to emerge as winner, he must have scored at least 25% in 2/3 of states and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the arguments to the effect that a person must score 25% in Federal Capital Territory is an importation. It's not contained in the Act. Now, the question now is, what is the position of the law in respect to the provisions? The argument to be canvassed is mathematical. Therefore, any resort to theoretical argument as submissions or as actions, or a resort to literature, is but begging the question. The question to be determined is what is 2/3 of 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. You must determine that. What is 2/3 majorities or 25% of 2/3 majority of 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory? Until you determine that, any theoretical submissions is but an argument that was ill-conceived. Now, if you look at the provision says 2/3 of the states making up the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. What that simply seems to mean is that for a candidate to win in an election, 2/3 of 36 states is 24. It means that you must have scored 25% at least in 24 states
of the Federation.
Before you can be declared winner in the absence of the Federal Capital Territory.
Okay.
Now, it therefore means that when you now say and the Federal Capital Territory, it means +1.
Not an addition, but +1.
It's +1.
But it also includes the one who scores the highest.
No, the one who scored the highest
not just
not
25% spread.
No, the one who scored the highest is not in contention. It's contained in paragraph A of 132 or 134. Okay. So nobody is contesting who scored the highest. The who scored the highest is clear. What is in contention is sub B, that the person ought to have scored 25% in 2/3 of the states making up the Federation, and the argument is the and Federal Capital Territory. So the and is an addition. So it therefore means that if it has stopped at the states making up the Federation, you need 24 to be declared winner.
Okay.
It therefore means that if it includes the Federal Capital Territory, it's no longer 24.
No.
Now the question now is that what is 2/3 of 37 states if you treat Federal Capital Territory as a state? It means it's +1. So it therefore means that for a candidate to be declared winner, he must score 24.6.
Is that mathematical?
It's mathematical. I said the argument, the answer.
Is that figure in the Constitution?
It's in the Constitution. I'm saying if you look at the decision in the case of Awolowo and Shagari, it was mathematical. The question is, what is 2/3 of 90 states?
No. What I'm saying is, what you just said now, is it by your calculation or what
this is?
I said 2/3.
Yes.
2/3 is mathematical.
It is.
It's not a theoretical argument. The word 2/3 is mathematical. You must resolve the mathematics there. What is the mathematics of 2/3 of 36 states +1?
That means we need a mathematician in the court.
So what we are saying in essence is that 2/3 of 90 states, if it has been argued to be 12.5 in the Awolowo's case, The question is that what is two-thirds of 37 states? If you said Abuja is treated as a state, it means that it must be 37, two-thirds of 37, which is 24.66. Now, if you now remove it and say the Abuja should be treated on its own, it therefore means that we are going to take 25% of two-thirds of Abuja. 25 two-thirds of Abuja, based on the number of accredited votes in Abuja, which I may read out, based on the results received, the number of accredited votes in Abuja is 478,932.
Okay.
That is the number of accredited voters in Abuja. Now, the number of valid votes is 478,652. Now, the parties receive as follows. Labour Party, 281,717. APC, 90,902 votes. PDP, 194. Now, the question now is that what is two-thirds of the votes, accredited voters in Abuja for a candidate to emerge winner is 53,213. And the parties, that is the APC, the PDP, and the Labour Party, all scored above 53,000.
They met the criteria.
It therefore means that if you are treating Abuja as a state on its own, it should not be based only on 25%. It should be based on 25% of two-thirds of the votes received from Abuja. So when somebody comes here and says 25%, the 25% is not contained in the Constitution. Let me just read for the purpose of clarity.
Okay.
Now, Section 134, Sub 1A of the Constitution, it provides as follows. It said 1, for a person to emerge as a presidential candidate elect in any election, the candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there have been only two candidates for the election. A, he has the majority of votes cast in that election. B, which is the contestation issue, he has not less than one quarter of the votes cast at the election in each of at least two-thirds of all the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. It therefore means that there is no way he uses that you must have 25% in the Federal Capital Territory. It's not contained here. What is contained here that can be argued is two-thirds of 25% of the Federal Capital Territory. So you cannot isolate the two-thirds.
Okay. So
when you now say the Constitution says 25% in Abuja, where is it contained in this law? It's not there.
Okay, now the question is, by virtue of the declaration of president-elect, would you say that all of these provisions in Section 134, they've been satisfactorily met?
Very well. The question is that I have asked, you cannot, since there is no provision for 25% in Abuja, it's not contained in the law I have just read.
No.
There's no way it said, and 25% in Abuja. The Constitution would have said so. To say, when he provides like this, he would have said he has not less than one-third of the vote cast at an election in each of at least two-thirds of all the states in the Federation and 25% in the Federal Capital Territory. He would have made it clear like that. If he made it clear that I said 25% in the Federal Capital Territory, nobody will argue it. It's not there. And so, you cannot import a section that is not there. So what is there, if you are applying it either conjunctively or disjunctively, is two-thirds of at least 25% in two-thirds of the Federal Capital Territory.
So the there now, in your opinion, is it conjunctively or disjunctively?
It's conjunctive. It's conjunctive because you cannot isolate 25%. Because even the proceeding section, the proceeding paragraph didn't say 25%. It said 25% in two-thirds. So that 25 to 10 in two-thirds applied to the states must also be applied to the Federal Capital Territory.
Those who have been arguing that the Supreme Court, for example, needs further interpretation and clarification of this section of the Constitution, are you saying that there is no legal ground for that?
Well, when there is a dispute, I can assure you, the parties going to court, they are not going to labor on that session. I will assure you that. There is none of the parties that is going to labor on it. But the court can suo motu, because this already an ongoing controversy, can suo motu decide on what that interpretation means as to whether or not the presumption is met. I said the only persuasive argument or closest argument or decision of the court on it is the case of Shagari and Awolowo. That is why I said the only answer to this requirement is mathematical. Is the question of what is 25% is 2/3 of the federal capital territory. It cannot be what is 25% of federal capital territory. It must be 25% of 2/3
of federal capital
territory.
As it stands alone.
As it stands alone. If you want to address it as it stands alone, it must be 25% of 2/3 of federal capital territory, and not 25% of federal capital territory. And all those who have made the argument base it on 25% of the federal capital territory, removing the 2/3. So whatever you are getting from Abuja,
why are you adding the 2/3 to it? Because,
the 2/3,
yes, where is it coming from?
You have removed. You say it should be treated distinctly.
Okay.
If you are looking at the 2/3 states, the 2/3 must also be applicable to the Abuja.
To the Abuja as a standalone.
As a standalone
entity.
Okay. So you must include it as a standalone entity. The 2/3 will also be applicable there. So you cannot isolate 2/3 and rely only on 25% that is not even contained in the constitution. That is one angle. The second angle that I have argued that people should look at it. What is the intent of the draftsman while making the provisions of that act? Now, assuming but not considering that a political party won the 36 states last slide, and the party fails to win federal capital territory, 2/3 of federal capital territory, the people canvassing the argument is that the election should be declared inconclusive and go a redraw a general a second election entirely. Could that be the intent of the constitution? That if a person wins 36 states, but he didn't win Abuja, you say the person nobody should be announced. Let's take as if that is the intent. Then you do the election again. The person also win the 36 states. He also fails because the people in Abuja doesn't like him or doesn't like his political party. He conducted again. He won last slide again in 36 states, but still failed
woefully in Abuja
because the people say there they don't like him. They will never vote for him. Even if you conduct the election 20 times, he will never win Abuja. What happened? That cannot have been the intent of the constitution.
Okay, but don't you think other factors could also play out, just like the court has given leave to the Labour Party presidential candidate and his counterpart in PDP to look at the election materials used? Don't you think other factors could also play out that could
that is actually the first step.
The outcome?
That is always the first step. It's not the first time. The first step in an election where you intend to challenge the election result is to seek permission of the court to inspect the document. It's not the first time. It's not new to the process. This is the procedure. Therefore, it's procedural. You don't just go to court and file. You have, because you need evidence to submit to the court while filing your papers. So the court must always grant permission to any applicant who wants to, because they are public documents. It's not something that you can hold from anybody who wants to seek to look at the document. So it's the first aspect. What I'm saying is that the only thing that can go sway in the court is looking at the results of the election as declared by INEC vis-a-vis the results in the hands of the political agents. Because all party agents have this result.
Okay.
The result that was read in Abuja is already in the hands of the party agents at the state level, at the senatorial level, at the federal constituency level. So their party agents have the results.
I even have the situation rooms of this party.
They also have situation rooms. That is the reason why you see that before they even declared the first state, people were already protesting. The reason is that they already got the results ahead from their situation rooms. All the political party, whether the Labour Party, whether the APC, whether the PDP, whether the ANPP, they all have situation rooms. And what is the essence of the situation room? The situation room is that all these political parties deploy party agents to each unit. And once results are emanating from the units, is sent to the situation room to say, look, in unit 5, ward 7, these are the results gotten from. They are already recorded.
What makes you think that they've not seen discrepancies in all of this? Comparatively, with the situation rooms.
That is the reason why that is the reason why they have asked for inspection. based on what they have gotten from their situation and what, of course, is being read. They have to compare and contrast to determine whether or not there are discrepancies.
Okay,
it is only when that is done that you can now leverage or whether there are discrepancies.
Let me just take this call from a contributor who is very enthusiastic about the conversation. Hello, caller. Good morning. Tell us your name quickly.
Good morning, sir. This is Musa David speaking with you.
Okay, Musa,
listening to the barrister talking.
Yes,
just quickly. It's like the barrister is not getting his mathematics very, very correctly.
Okay.
When you say 1/4 is 25%. When they say you must have 1/4 of the votes in each state, 1/4 is 1/4. 1/4, that's 0.2 times 100. That's 25%. That's what the 25% is coming in.
Okay.
So, and now, APC has 90,902 votes. That's 20.08%. It's not to 25%. It's not to 1/4 of the total vote cast in Abuja, in the FCT.
Okay.
LP has 281,701 votes. That's 62.23%. Then PDP had 74,193 votes. That's 16.39%.
Okay.
And the other states have 5,012. Then the other parties together have 5,012 votes, which is 1.31%. So that is where the 25% is coming from. 1/4 is 25%.
Are you taking away the two-third
I don't
majority?
know whether you get it.
Okay, now the barrister's argument, just hold on, David. The barrister's argument is that you should not take the 25% in isolation.
Yeah.
To be 25%
Of
two-thirds. Because that's what is applicable to the other states. And if you are arguing that FCT is a standalone entity, it's not inclusive, then it must be 25% of two-thirds.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
His first argument was that 25% was not in the Constitution. And I'm saying no. The 25% people are telling you is the 1/4.
Agreed.
No, he agrees with that. But did you
taken.
add
The
two-thirds to your own calculation?
No.
Because that's
He
the
is not
option
coming
he is
in.
bringing into the conversation. 25% of
Two-thirds
two-thirds.
of Abuja.
When you take 25% of Abuja, it will give you this statistic
Yes,
that
it will give
gave.
you.
So that's a
But you need to
distraction.
take 25% of two-thirds. That's his own argument. I've had other lawyers who came here to say, look, if you take Abuja as a standalone entity, it must be 25% of the valid vote cast.
Yes.
And then you do all those calculations for each of the political parties. But he's
No.
saying that it must be 25% of
two-thirds
two-thirds.
of Abuja.
That's his
No,
argument.
no.
Yes.
No. It is the law. If you can read it again, I don't think I have that electoral act here
with
with
you,
me.
yeah.
But I think what the electoral act is
No,
was that.
we're not even talking about the electoral act, now we're talking about the Constitution. Section 134 of the Constitution.
Yeah, sorry. Yes. The Constitution. If you can read it again, please let me just read it again.
All right.
Okay, so barrister, read it again. It's interesting, but we just have a few minutes left.
Yes.
So,
The-
particularly the section that relates
Yes.
to
The two-thirds.
the
Yes.
FCT, yeah.
Okay.
Please listen. B, he has not less than 1/4. That is 35%. 1/4 of the vote cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the federation.
Okay.
Yes.
And the
2/3
Federal
of
Capital
all the
Territory.
states. Yes, 2/3 of all the states in the federation.
And the Federal Capital Territory.
Yes, and the FCT, 2/3 of all the states in the federation. The states in the federation are 36 states.
Yes.
2/3 of the states in the federation is 24 states.
Yes.
So in 24 states,
Yes.
he has to win 25%
Yes.
in 24 states
Yes.
and 25% in the FCT.
No, of two-thirds.
Removing the two-third
You remove the
component.
two-third.
You are removing the two-thirds
Yeah,
of
removing the
Abuja.
component
saying.
of the third.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You are
that is
removing the
why
two-thirds.
that is why the argument is coming that 25%
Of two-thirds of Abuja.
in
Two-thirds of
24
Abuja.
You
states.
must add that to third because that's what was added to the other states.
All right.
Maybe
so-
we need an English
David, I
scholar.
think you've established your point based
Yes,
on your
thank you.
understanding of mathematics.
Yeah.
Incidentally, you are an engineer by profession, and he's
Thank you.
a lawyer
Ah.
by profession. So, a lawyer versus an engineer interpreting Section 134 as it relates to the status of the 36 state of the Federation, and then the FCT. I'm sure we'll leave it at that for now. I'm sure at the appropriate time, this issue will also be looked into again.
Thank you very much.
Let me even deepen that so that he knows that I did my mathematics.
Okay.
If you go by percentage, for a party to win to third there is 1.5. What the APC scored is 1.9. I have done the mathematics before coming here. So you need 1.5 to have to, if you go by points,
yes,
it's 1.5.
Okay.
But APC even scored 1.9. So in any argument, you cannot isolate the two-thirds of that state. You cannot just say 25%. You now took the 1/4 and leave the other part. And say the other part is not applicable to Abuja. It's only there two-thirds. It's only that 25%, that is 1/4, that is applicable. You can't make such an argument. Everything that is applicable to the state must be applicable to Abuja.
In any case, it's still subject to litigation.
So, no, I'm even saying that without mighty words.
Yes.
This has been laid to rest in the case of Shagari and Awolowo. The issue is mathematical. It's not theoretical.
Okay.
It's not an argument that you can cite a theoretical submission. It's
So
mathematics.
the bottom line is that despite the insinuations in some quarters that INEC didn't satisfy the constitutional requirement for the declaration of the president-elect, what you're saying now is that INEC truly satisfied the constitutional requirement for the declaration of president-elect.
Very well.
Based on this mathematical analysis.
Very well. Because that INEC, I have said here, I don't speak for INEC. INEC have a thick tank of advisors before making a declaration. Before they adjourned, they have looked at the constitution. People have looked at it critically before he declared. What people were wanting, they wanted to excite the public against INEC, to say that INEC declared results that were not in conformity with the law. That is not correct. INEC is an independent and impartial, irrespective of any pressure. They must act in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. And they so acted when they declared the candidate of the All Progressive Congress as the president-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What we will advise is that all Nigerians to work hand in hand with INEC in the forthcoming governorship and House of Assembly election to have a peaceful elections. It is the people who mar elections and not INEC. If people conduct themselves creditably, peacefully, you vote, you go back home, allow those who are saddled with the power to calculate results, your agents are already there, the election will be peaceful.
Okay. All right, Brother Sonny Daudu, thank you very much. This is why we always strive at every point in time to bring forth different perspectives. The idea is that if you stick to one perspective, you may not have the privilege and the opportunity to have a very robust insight into the issue. And that's exactly what we've done today by bringing another lawyer here to give us a different perspective so it can help you form a very sound judgment and help you make a very informed decision in your disposition to the issue that is at stake. Well, this is where we draw the curtains today on Nigeria Decides on Independent Television. From Philip,
it's goodbye.
From me, it's goodbye. And big thanks to Barrister Daudu for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, tomorrow, a fresh installment will be on. Egosa Agbolaho and Daniel Praise Osadebami will be here on tomorrow's edition of Nigeria Decides. Our last edition will be for Thursday, that will be on Friday. But at that time, we'll just be doing some voter education and all of that. I want to say big thanks to all our crew members for making this show a huge success. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. Thanking you for staying with us. Have a beautiful day ahead. Bye for now.